Game of Thrones fans, get ready. Westeros is about to return, but this time it looks very different. Bright colors, humble heroes, and not a dragon in sight. HBO's A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is officially coming in January of 2026, and George R.R. Martin himself says it's the most faithful adaptation yet. Today we're breaking down everything we know, from the story, the cast, the setting, and to why this series is a complete departure from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to the channel. For over a decade, fans have come to expect one thing from Game of Thrones: dark skies, bloody politics, and dragons. But this time, HBO is shaking things up. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms opens with something completely unexpected: color. The world isn't grim or gray. It's vibrant, full of life, and grounded in a simpler Westeros. Even the title sequence, or rather the lack of one, makes a bold statement. Gone are the elaborate CG maps and Ramin Djawadi's sweeping theme. Instead, each episode begins with a simple medieval title card. Showrunner Ira Parker says the decision was made to match the spirit of our main hero, Ser Duncan the Tall, or Dunk for short. Parker explained that it's not really Dunk's MO. He's plain and simple and to the point. He doesn't have a lot of flash to him. So while Thrones was epic and royal, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms will be personal and humble, just like its main character. So what exactly is this story all about? Well, the series is based on George R.R. Martin's beloved tales of Dunk and Egg novels. Season 1 adapts the first story, The Hedge Knight, originally published back in 1998. It follows Ser Duncan the Tall, a self-knighted hedge knight with more honor than experience, and his unlikely squire, Egg, a boy with a secret. He's actually Prince Aegon Targaryen, who will one day become King Aegon V, the grandfather of Mad King Aerys. Set about 100 years before Game of Thrones, this prequel takes us to a Westeros still under Targaryen rule, but a world where dragons are gone, magic is fading, and the once powerful dynasty is struggling to hold on. Dunk and Egg's journey takes them to the Ashford Meadow tourney, where they cross paths with knights, smiths, and even members of House Targaryen who are clinging to the last shreds of their former glory. Ira Parker promised Martin that the series would stay focused on ordinary people, not kings or queens. We're starting right at the bottom, he said. That's a refreshing twist, a story about honor and courage for those who don't sit on the Iron Throne. The series stars Peter Claffey as Ser Duncan the Tall, an Irish actor and former rugby player known for Bad Sisters and Wreck. Claffey brings both physicality and warmth to the role of Dunk, a man who's brave but humble, powerful, yet kind-hearted. His squire, Egg, is played by Dexter Soansel, just 9 years old but already a seasoned young actor. You might recognize him from Emmerdale, The Midwich Cuckoos, and Netflix's Christmas on Mistletoe Farm. Supporting them are some powerful names in Westerosi history. Finn Bennett will be playing Aerion Targaryen, a cruel and arrogant prince. Bertie Carvel is playing Baelor Targaryen, who is also known as Baelor Breakspear. Sam Spruill as Maekar Targaryen, this would be Egg's father. We also have Tamsin Crawford, who's playing a Tansel Too-Tall, and Daniel Ings as Sir Lionel Baratheon. Together, this cast paints a Westeros that's alive with personality, before the scheming and betrayals we know so well. George R.R. Martin has been cautious about spin-offs before, but not this time. In fact, he's all in. On his blog, Martin wrote, "I've seen all 6 episodes now and I love them. Dunk and Egg have always been favorites of mine, and the actors we found to portray them are just incredible." He even called the show as faithful an adaptation as a reasonable man could hope for. Coming from Martin, who's famously protective of his work, now that's high praise. Season 1 will cover the Hedge Knight, with plans for future seasons to adapt The Sworn Sword and The Mystery Knight. So if the show succeeds, we could get a full Duncan Egg trilogy on screen. We also know that George R.R. Martin himself will be attending New York Comic Con this week, and the hope is we will get a trailer for this show. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms doesn't just look different though. It feels different. There are no massive dragon battles, there's no scheming in King's Landing, and no wars over crowns. Instead, this is a story about morality, knighthood, and friendship. The showrunners describe it as intimate and character-driven, focusing on the early stirrings of the Targaryens' decline. While House of the Dragon explores the dynasty's fiery downfall, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms shows us the quiet years in between, when Westeros is still healing, and simple heroes can still make a huge difference. Even the tagline teases this tone: this winter, spring is coming. It's a clever nod to the idea that hope, not despair, drives this story forward. While the Jon Snow sequel is officially shelved, HBO is far from done with the world of Ice and Fire. Along with The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, we also have House of the Dragon returning next year for its third and penultimate season. Meanwhile, The Batman co-writer Mattson Tomlin is developing another prequel, Aegon's Conquest, which will tell the bloody tale of how Aegon Targaryen and his sister wives conquered 6 of the 7 kingdoms with their dragons. It's clear HBO has no plans to let the flames of Game of Thrones go out anytime soon. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms premieres this coming January on HBO and Max, and it promises to show us Westeros like we've never seen it. Bright, humble, and full of heart. Now, it's time for you to tell me what you think, Thrones fans. Are you excited for this smaller, character-driven story? Or do you prefer the massive scope of House of the Dragon? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for all your Game of Thrones news. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.